I hope you've been following along and actually typing this stuff in and not just watching. Because if you're actually typing this stuff in, something magical happens. Not really magical, but kind of magical. And it actually allows you to learn. The stuff seeps into your brain more than if you're just sitting back and watching. Just the actual, even if you're just copying what I am putting on the screen, but you're typing it yourself, something happens and you learn more. If you've been doing that, just in the course of these 3 videos, you've seen how easy it is with Corona SDK and your own brain to put something on the screen and actually make it move, give it some animation. That's really cool. So we've got one more thing we're going to do here, and that is we're going to have transition 2 call a function after it's done. Because once this planet has reached its position, we can tell that programmatically. And the way we do that is we add one more thing here, onComplete. onComplete equals, and now this is going to be the name of a function. And we want it to show the title, so let's call this function showTitle. Now we don't have a function called showTitle yet, so let's create one, and this time we're actually going to create it right up here, right up above transition 2. Since they kind of work together, I'm going to put them both in the same place. So showTitle, no parameters are passed to it, but what we're going to do inside of it is local game title equals, same thing we've been doing before, we're going to be doing new image, and the name of the ping file. And earlier when I mentioned the images that are in this project, I didn't mention that one, but it is in there. When it's created with x and y equals 0 right up in the upper left corner. So we're going to leave it there at least for now just to see how this works. So I'm going to save this and run it, and if everything goes well, as soon as the planet moves into position, this onComplete will be triggered, and it will call showTitle, which in turn will display the title of the game. So let's go ahead and try this. Cool. Okay, the only thing that's wrong with that is we've got all this moving stuff, and then the Attack of the Cuteness just kind of comes in, boom. And so let's try something a little bit different. When we create game title, let's create it with an alpha of 0, so it's not even going to be able to be seen. And let's change the X and the Y scale. And before we used X scale and Y scale, there's another thing you can do here, and it's just called scale. And you can set the X and the Y at once. And we're going to set it for 4 and 4. First number is the X scale, the second number is the Y scale. So now it's going to be it's going to be huge. Actually, it's going to be huge, and it's going to be unable to be seen because we have the alpha set to 0. So let's change it. Let's say transition 2, our friend transition 2, and this time we'll be working on the game title. And we want it to happen fast, so let's say a half a second, which would be 500 milliseconds. And we want alpha equal to 1. We want it to appear solid. And we want X scale equals 1 and Y scale equals 1. So now, if everything works fine, it should be created, but we won't be able to see it. It'll be 4 times as big, but then in the course of a half a second, it'll fade into view and scale down to the right size. So let's give this a shot. That's kind of cool looking. If there's some sound effects on that, that'd be an awesome title. So we're going to leave it at that, and we're going to be coming back to this onComplete thing because this is an awesomely powerful tool to use in our game. Once something has happened, we can trigger something else. We'll be using that several times here as we create this game.